So before moving on to the details, we have to know where is Vanuatu located, right? So you can see in this map, Vanuatu is located to the east of Australia and to the north of New Zealand. It is located in the oceanic continent. As you can see, since it is located in the middle of the ocean and there are many plates here, they are prone to many disasters like earthquakes. Also, they are prone to the disaster like cyclone. So you can see in 2015, Cyclone Pan affected Vanuatu and there are about 24 people dead and 3,300 people displaced in Vanuatu. Similarly, you can see in this year, 5th April 2022, there has been a big earthquake in Vanuatu, right? So you can see the a picture here of cyclone in Vanuatu. It has been mostly affected due to these cyclones. So the one who feels the heat will say the pain of the heat, right? So you can see the statement of President of Vanuatu. So he is advocating on a non-proliferation of fossil fuel or a complete ban on fossil fuel because he knows the pain of his people, right? So you can see the energy consumption in Vanuatu. They are using just 58.59 million kilowatts per hour per year. So per capita, it's an average of 186 kilowatts per hour, right? So here you can see per capita is around 186 kilowatts per hour. It is around 200. And compare the data with the United States of America. They are using about 12,338.29. See the difference. It's not even about thousands, it's about 10,000s. The difference is about 10,000s. And the most, they are also humans. And they are also humans. But see the consumption difference, right? And see the next data. Even though Vanuatu is a small island nation, they are using just 31.9% of total consumption in Vanuatu. So they are using 31.9% of renewable energy. Even though they have less technologies, they are investing more on the renewables. And see the carbon emission data of Vanuatu. Even though it is obvious that carbon emission will increase slightly due to their less technology, but their consumption, the carbon emission data is less. It is about 0.20 tons, right? It is less. And see their energy balance. Their production is about 63 million kilowatts per hour, and their consumption is 58.59. Their per capita consumption is 200, and United States is 233 338.29, right? And you can see the carbon footprint here. Total carbon footprint is 2 lakh 10,000 and 1 or 2 per capita is just 0.70, not even a single digit 1. It's less than 1, 0.70. And United States per capita is 14.67. This is per capita, right? You have to understand it. Not full emission of the country, it's per capita. So, not only comparing with one another, we have to compare developed nations with the developing countries. As you can see here, United States is emitting about 4.82 billion tons of CO2. It is billion. And China it is emitting 10.71 billion tons as a country. And India it is emitting 2.46 billion tons. So you can see these are the top three producers of carbon CO2, and you have to compare it with the per capita data also. Here a per capita emission is just 14.52. Not just, you have to see just. And here you have seen the largest CO2 emitters. First choice China, second is United States, and third is India. And when you compare it with the per capita data, here you have to see that it is United States who is leading in the per capita emitter of CO2, and second is China, and third is India. So you can see the difference here. The first, as a country, the first emitter is China, but as a per capita emitter, first one is United States of America, right? And similarly, you can see the data of methane and total emitter. So per capita emission of total emission is by United States is 16.76, whereas China is just half of it, 8.41 tons. But as a whole, you can see China is the first emitter, right? So you can see the data of global carbon emissions. See, on the rest of the world, you can see the data have increased. It is about 1.4 percentage have increased in carbon emission. China 0.4 percentage and United States 0.8 percent and India about 5.1 percent. But see their emission data, it's about 3, right? And when we compare it to the European Union 5 gigatons, right? We can see the data here. So on the recent Glasgow COP26 summit, the global north have lectured the global south to phase out the carbon emission. Phase out means completely stop the carbon emission. But as you have seen the data in the past, who is the biggest emitter of carbon emission? It's obviously global north. But they are advising a small chunk of carbon emitter, global south, to stop the carbon emitter. And this is the biggest hypocrisy, right? Also, during the COP21 summit, which is held in Paris, they have pledged that they will be giving 100 billion to fix the climate change. But as till now, they have not even given a penny to the global south countries for fixing the climate change. And this remains a false promise. So, what are the initiatives that we can take? Means, what are the simple initiatives that we can take to tackle this climate change? As you can see, our Prime Minister Modi have launched in the Glasgow Summit infrastructure for resilient island states. This scheme gives a huge investment of 150 billion for island nations to cope up with the climate change. And another one great initiative is life. Here in this life scheme, we can take steps in our day-to-day simple life activities. For example, when you are stepping out of the room, you can simply switch off the light so that we will be consuming less energy and it will create significant carbon emission cuts, right? So by taking simple life initiatives, we can cut down a huge chunk of global carbon emission. So thank you.